Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FP Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 29 team selection for you guys. But before I get into that, let's have a look at how the team did in Game Week 28. And it was an alright game week, to be honest. 58 points overall. I didn't take a hit because I wildcarded this game week. I wildcarded to prepare for this double game week and for the upcoming blank week because I felt that despite wildcarding in Game Week 30 or 31 would have me better prepared for the 34 doubles, I think I can make a pretty good team, taking a couple hits, making a few transfers to get there. But yeah, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed. I wanted a big green arrow in this game week, given how I really capitalised on it, going for triple Bournemouth and double Luton for their double game week. And I didn't really get that many points to be rewarded by it. Solanke captaincy getting 16 points there was severely let down by the fact he missed a penalty in the first game. It would have been an absolutely monster score if he'd converted that penalty. But yeah, Morris completely blanked, Tavernier blanked, Neto blanked, and Doherty got 1 assist to get him to 5 points. So yeah, the big difference maker in the team here was Heung-min Son. Very glad to have had him with his 17 points. He was basically the reason I got a green arrow. I didn't own Palmer though for his haul. And the worst decision I made was to get rid of Ben White on the wild card. I kept Gabriel instead, and Gabriel got 1 point, White got 11. And now everyone is talking about getting in Ben White when I've been talking about him half the season, and yeah, I took him out maybe 1 week too early. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame there. And also, you can see there on the bench, Maddison with 9 and Udogie with 6. I really wanted to take some punts on the double game weekers. And yeah, I definitely didn't consider playing Udogie. I was really surprised that Spurs managed to keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. I went for Robinson instead, just as a short-term punt in defence. Someone who plays in the blank game week, and he's got a nice game week coming up in Game Week 30. So I didn't really buy him for this game week, but yeah, I really wish I'd benched him instead. And obviously Maddison's 9 points on the bench really does sting. I also really heavily considered Semenyo in up top. I think he was the second highest scorer of the game week was Semenyo. He was certainly the highest scoring double game weeker, and I would have had Barkley instead of Tavernier in the midfield because of that. So yeah, 17-point swing that ended up being, but really, really well done if you went for Semenyo. I really should have gone there myself, to be honest. Now, in hindsight, really easy to say that, isn't it now? But yeah, was a bit let down by that. But yeah, it's a small green arrow, so we will absolutely take it and move on to game week 29. Now, I obviously don't have a wild card left, I don't have a free hit left, and I don't have a triple captain left. It is purely just a bench boost for me. But the blank game week, I'm very well set up for. I've already made my 1 transfer. Solanke to TONEY was always going to be the move on paper. I do think there are some really nice differential strikers to go for. I really like the looks of either Awanoe or Wood, if we know which one is going to be starting. Visser, I think, is a great option. And Fofana for Burnley, I also think is a pretty nice option. But I've gone with TONEY. I've just gone with the sensible one. He's on free kicks. He's on penalties. He'll be relatively high owned in this blank game week. And yeah, I just like his fixtures from after Game Week 29 as well. So yeah, I've just made the sensible move going from Solanke to TONEY. Still got 8.6 million in the bank, but that is obviously there to get in Salah next week. Very much looking forward to that. So I've got a full 11 and I've not taken a single hit, and I'm not using a free hit. So I think I'm in a pretty good place for this game week. Obviously, I do have the double Bournemouth and the double Luton still in my team. I will probably just be benching Doherty and Morris from here on out. Unless I make transfers to go elsewhere. Tavernier will be moved on to Palmer next week as well. So yeah, my moves next week are pretty much set in stone. Tavernier to Palmer, and probably Bowen to Salah, because Maddison will have that lovely fixture to Luton. Anyway, more about this game week. I've got a 4-3-3 formation, which might be the first time I've played this formation this season. There's been so little clean sheets that, honestly, the less clean sheets that we have, the better. I do have a defender, though, in every single game, which is quite nice. So I'm hoping that I get at least one if there is a clean sheet going to be kept. I do think there's a good chance that nobody keeps a clean sheet in these 4 games. But yeah, I'm happy with the team. The armband's definitely going on Son as well. I think he's just the best player there. He might not be the highest scorer, but I think he's the safe pick to go for. He's a man in high form. He's just scored 17 points. Away to Fulham isn't the best fixture. I'd probably say the best fixture goes to Toney with away to Burnley. And Watkins is a very, very good shout as well for the captaincy away to West Ham. I think that Son-Watkins captaincy shout is very close for me. I think I'm just going Son, though. I think I'm about 60% Son, 35% Watkins, and then there's 5% of me that maybe says Toney. But yeah, hopefully I do have 11 players as well. Reguilon was injured, shock injury against Arsenal. He was just completely absent from the squad. Apparently he picked up a minor hamstring injury, but he has been pictured in training this week, so hopefully he is back for that. And he has a nice fixture against Burnley as well to come, so I hope that is a good score for him. So yeah, I think it's pretty certain I get a green arrow in this blank game week. I mean, I'd be astonished if I don't. The only way I could foresee that happening is if Son got a red card, if Watkins is above 100% ownership, and he, and he goes absolutely massive, or there is someone like a Kudus, or maybe if Kudus, Bailey, Douglas Luiz, the likes of that go absolutely mad because they have some pretty decent ownership as well, I think. But yeah, I think I'm very well set up. Porro as well as another one. I do have a doggy instead. I went for a doggy because he was cheaper. That's pretty much the only reason for it. Porro has had brilliant stats over the season, but when Maddison has been back, he's not been as good because he's not taking as many set pieces. And Udogie just seems to be playing so direct, and he's cheaper. And I'm going to need the funds to get Salah back in and potentially get Haaland back in. I will have to think about that one. But yeah, my moves for Game Week 30 are pretty set in stone. So yeah, hopefully a green arrow to come in Game Week 29. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I get it right with the captaincy. Moving on to the mini league team of the game week, Kamal Saud here with 87 points is a massive score in not a massively high scoring game week, to be honest. A game week rank of 15k. He did have Ben White as well. Really happy to see Ben White in the team, and he triple captained Semenyo, making up over half of his points. Absolutely incredible there. He only had 2 double game weekers as well, Semenyo and Doughty. He didn't own Palmer, he didn't own Son, he didn't even own Solanke, and yet he's come out with the top score in the mini league this week purely because of how well he nailed that triple captain 15-pointer from Semenyo. So really, really well played to you, Kamal. You missed out on quite a few of the hauls, but you still come out with the top score purely because of how well you nailed that triple captain. So really, really well done to you there, mate. And the team of the game week leaderboard has not really changed. I think there's been a couple movements here with a couple of the top 20 managers here getting a top 10, but there has not really been much movement at all, as the team we just saw hasn't had a first place yet, so he is not. He's not had a top 10 yet, so he doesn't actually make it onto the leaderboard anyway. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please leave a like and get subscribed to the channel if you find yourself coming back regularly to the channel, and I really appreciate it as well. It really helps out the channel. How many players are you managing to field for this blank game week? Do you still have your free hit chip or wildcard to use? I will have neither of those now, so I'm going to have to go in basically blind into the end of the season, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll see you in the next FPL video.